1. The concept of the fog of war. The concept of the fog of war was popularized by Carl von Clausewitz, Prussian military theorist. In his seminal work on war, Clausewitz introduced the idea that war is not simply about military might and tactical decisions. Rather, it's shaped by the unpredictability of human actions, limited information, and the ever-changing nature of the battlefield. Clausewitz realized that in war, nothing is ever certain. No plan, no matter how meticulous, survives first contact, the enemy. Soldiers and commanders are forced to make decisions in real time, often without all the necessary facts, surrounded by chaos. This leads to confusion and unexpected consequences. Clausewitz famously said, "War is the realm of uncertainty. 3/4 of those things upon which action in war is based lie hidden in the clouds of great uncertainty." He used the metaphor of fog to describe the ambiguity and unpredictability of war, and how that uncertainty clouds judgment and decision-making. The fog doesn't just come from the physical environment, but also from poor communication, unpredictability of enemy actions, and the psychological strain on the soldiers involved. Commanders and military leaders are constantly grappling with incomplete or misleading intelligence. They can never fully know the intentions, capabilities, or morale of the enemy, and this is where the true fog of war comes into play. The decisions that are made often have unintended consequences. What might seem like a tactical advantage could turn into a strategic failure. For centuries, commanders have faced this fog, trying to make the best decisions they can with the limited information at hand. Fog of war is as old as conflict itself, but its nature has evolved over time. 2. World War I. The first industrial fog, World War I, was a turning point in the history of warfare. Known as the Great War, it introduced a new type of fighting, industrial warfare. With the advent of machine guns, tanks, and chemical weapons, battlefields became vast landscapes of destruction. For the first time in history, soldiers were not only fighting the enemy, but also contending with the harsh conditions brought about by modern technology. Trenches, artillery bombardments, and chemical gas attacks added a literal fog, the metaphorical one, making it nearly impossible for soldiers to see beyond the next few meters. Trench warfare was grueling. Soldiers lived in mud, water, and disease, while constant shelling filled the air with smoke and debris. But beyond the physical fog was the confusion caused by lack of communication and coordination. The armies were often cut off from their commanders, relying on outdated tactics and assumptions about their enemies. This was the first major war, where the scale of the battlefield stretched across entire country. Armies no longer faced each other head-on, but fought over vast distances. As a result, information from the front lines was often delayed or inaccurate. The nature of this warfare meant that decisions were made based on incomplete or faulty information. Leaders were often blind to the true state of the battlefield, unable to see their enemy's movements or even communicate effectively with their own forces. The fog of war took on a new form in World War I, not just in the literal sense of obscured vision, but also in the lack of real-time intelligence and reliable information. The technological advancements of World War I only deepened the fog. Development of chemical weapons like mustard gas added a new layer of unpredictability. Soldiers had to contend with an invisible threat, poison gas, that could be carried by the wind without warning. This created even more confusion and fear on the battlefield. 3. The fog in modern wars. In modern warfare, the nature of the fog of war has changed significantly. With the advent of advanced technology, satellites, drones, real-time surveillance, and instant communication, commanders today can see more of the battlefield than ever before. They can track enemy movements, monitor their own forces, and make decisions based on real-time data. Yet, despite these technological advancements, fog of war has not disappeared. It has simply taken on a new form. During the Gulf War, for example, the United States military had an unprecedented level of visibility over the battlefield. With precision-guided missiles, satellite surveillance, and drone footage, commanders could pinpoint enemy locations with remarkable accuracy. Yet despite this technological edge, they were still grappling with the unknown. The enemy's intentions, morale, and hidden assets remained elusive. The fog of war was no longer about physical visibility, but about the psychological and strategic unpredictability that still clouded decision-making. In modern conflicts like the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, fog of war took on a new dimension. The rise of guerrilla tactics, insurgencies, and decentralized warfare made it difficult for technologically superior forces to predict the enemy's action. Insurgents could blend into civilian populations, use unconventional tactics, and strike unpredictably. Even with drones and satellites providing constant surveillance, the human element, motives, strategies, and emotions remained unpredictable. In this way, technology, while invaluable, could never fully lift the fog of war. Despite the ability to gather massive amounts of data, the challenge of making sense of it remained. Even in the age of information warfare, the unpredictability of human behavior and the chaos of war create an ever-present fog. Commanders are left to navigate through the unknown, relying on instinct and experience as much as technology. 4. Robert McNamara and the fog of war. Robert McNamara, a central figure during the Vietnam War, was perhaps one of the most significant public figures to articulate the complexities of the fog of war. As U.S. Secretary of Defense from 1961 to 1968, McNamara oversaw much of the U.S. involvement in Vietnam. Throughout his tenure, he grappled with the difficult decisions that had to be made in the heat of conflict, often without having full knowledge of the enemy or the situation on the ground. In the aftermath of the war, McNamara reflected deeply on the mistakes and misjudgments that were made during the conflict. His reflections form the basis of the documentary The Fog of War, in which he explores the limits of human understanding during war. In his documentary, McNamara admitted that the U.S. leadership did not fully understand the enemy they were fighting. They misjudged the political, cultural, and social landscape of Vietnam, leading to disastrous consequences. Fog of war, according to McNamara, was not just a lack of battlefield intelligence. It was a fundamental misunderstanding of the bigger picture, the motivations of the enemy, the nature of the conflict, and the true cost of war. McNamara famously said, "We were wrong, terribly wrong. We owe it to future generations to explain why." His reflection on the fog of war extended beyond battlefield tactics. It touched on the moral and psychological fog that enveloped the decision-makers, clouding their ability to see the long-term consequences of their action. Vietnam became a quagmire, with decisions made in Washington, D.C. disconnected from the realities on the ground. The fog of war was not just about uncertainty in battle, but about the failure to fully grasp the complexities of a foreign land and people. McNamara's insights into the fog of war serve as a powerful reminder of how critical it is to understand not only the immediate tactical environment, but also the broader strategic and cultural context. His experience underscores that even the most sophisticated military technology and strategic planning can be insufficient. The fundamental aspects of the conflict are misunderstood. The Vietnam War, with its complex web of political, social, and historical factors, became a case study in how the fog of war can cloud judgment, leading to costly miscalculations and ultimately, failure. McNamara's later years were marked by a public grappling with his role in the Vietnam War. In his memoir, In Retrospect, The Tragedy and Lessons of Vietnam, he reflected on the failures and the lessons learned. The book revealed the depth of the fog of war he experienced, emphasizing the limitations of decision-making under extreme uncertainty. He acknowledged the missteps and the heavy toll of the conflict, offering a candid account that serves as a crucial historical lesson on the nature of war. Robert McNamara's reflections provide valuable insights into how the fog of war operates at the highest levels of decision-making. His experience shows that while technology can help mitigate some aspects of uncertainty, it cannot fully dispel the fog that comes from the inherent unpredictability of conflict and human behavior. McNamara's legacy is a testament to the need for humility and adaptability in the face of war's many uncertainties. Number 5, the fog of war and technology. As warfare evolves, so does the technology that shapes it. Today's battlefield is marked by advancements in information technology, cyber warfare, and electronic surveillance. While these tools offer unprecedented levels of visibility and control, they also introduce new forms of the fog of war. The complexity of modern warfare means that technology alone cannot eliminate uncertainty. Modern technologies such as drones, satellite imagery, and real-time communications have transformed how military operations are conducted. These tools allow for precise targeting, enhanced situational awareness, and rapid decision-making. However, they also come with their own set of challenges. For instance, while drones can provide real-time footage, they can be vulnerable to electronic countermeasures or misinterpretations of data. The sheer volume of information can overwhelm commanders, leading to analysis paralysis or incorrect conclusion. The integration of cyber warfare adds another layer to the fog of war. As nations and non-state actors engage in cyber attacks, they create a new form of chaos that traditional military strategies are often ill-equipped to handle. Cyber operations can disrupt communication, spread misinformation, and manipulate perceptions, all while remaining largely invisible to traditional surveillance methods. This new form of warfare blurs the lines between the physical and digital realms, making it even harder to discern the true state of the battlefield. In essence, while technology can provide greater insight and control, it cannot fully eliminate the inherent uncertainties of war. Fog of war persists, evolving alongside technological advancement. It remains a reminder that no matter how advanced our tools become, the human element, filled with unpredictability and emotion, continues to play a central role in the outcome of conflict. 6. The future of the fog of war. As we look towards the future, the nature of the fog of war will undoubtedly continue to evolve. With advancements in artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and advanced robotics, the landscape of warfare is shifting. These technologies promise to further transform the way wars are fought, but they also introduce new forms of uncertainty and complexity. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are poised to play a significant role in future conflict. AI systems can analyze vast amounts of data, predict enemy movements, and make decisions faster than any human could. However, the integration of AI into warfare raises new questions about reliability, ethics, and the potential for unintended consequences. AI systems, while powerful, are not infallible. They can make errors or be manipulated, adding a new layer of unpredictability. Autonomous systems, such as self-driving military vehicles and drones, are becoming more common. These systems can operate without direct human control, allowing for rapid and precise actions. Yet their autonomy also means that decisions made by these systems could be influenced by flawed programming or unexpected scenarios, further deepening the fog of war. The challenge will be to ensure that these systems can operate effectively in unpredictable environments. The future of the fog of war will also involve dealing with new forms of psychological and informational warfare. The rise of social media and digital propaganda means that the perception of conflicts can be manipulated, creating new forms of confusion and uncertainty. As technology advances, so too will the methods used to exploit the fog of war. Understanding these dynamics will be crucial for future leaders and strategists. In conclusion, the fog of war is an enduring feature of conflict, shaped by both historical precedents and technological advancements. As we move into an era of increasingly complex and technology-driven warfare, the challenge will be to navigate this fog with insight, adaptability, and a deep understanding of both the technological and human elements at play.